when you set out a plan and say, okay, I'm gonna go and exercise, and you don't, what would you say about a friend who told you, yo, come meet me out at the bar, and then you went and they didn't show up?
Yeah.
And then the next day, yo, I'm gonna go out to the bar. All right, I'll meet you there. And then you go, and then they didn't show up. And then you go. What is that friend? What's that relationship like with that friend? You trust that friend?
Yeah.
You believe what they're gonna say? And so part of this is like, you start to like have a bad relationship with yourself. You don't even trust yourself, believe yourself that you're gonna show up.
Oh, sucky now. Woo-wee, yo. Oh, shit. We got a party up in here, baby. All right, okay.
What up?
I'm breathing right now.
I'm digging the Steve Jobs in the background.
Listen, man. I'm bringing the goody goods, man. But bless up to you, Steve. My man Howard. And then we also got It's All Good, baby.
B.I.G.
Yes, indeedy. Yo, so fellas, okay, first of all, I'm super amped up. I'm gonna breathe right now because when I worked at Lifetime, you two were my favorite. Like you two were two of, I would say there's 5, my favorite cats to work with, bro. And Brian, we always had tip-top conversations. Zach, same with you. And Zach, bro, you helped me out like in a really important point in my life we're gonna go over. So peoples, Lord God, yo, listen, welcome to this More Than Black or White podcast. This is Paul, your boy Brian. We got our boy Zach Bruckner in the place. Listen, if you're looking to get in shape and you're an entrepreneur, you've worked with a ton of trainers, you still haven't gotten shit, look, you are in the right place because I am in the presence of what I can this minds in the fitness industry. If you've heard about them, you're ahead of the game. If you have yet to hear about them, here you go. So get your notepads ready. Get your pen. Maybe get some snacks. These guys will tell you some snacks to hook up. And get ready to rock this piece. So listen, everybody, welcome. Brian. First of all, Brian, how you doing, B? You know I got to check in with you first. Bro.
Doing good, man. A little crazy today. I'm trying to pack. Going to Vietnam tomorrow.
Brother.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's a lot of things going on in my head right now. But it's good. I need to take a break and kind of work on this, so it's good.
Yeah, brother. Listen, man, sending you all the best.
Appreciate it.
For a safe flight, man. A beautiful trip because I'm excited for you. And I'm also excited for myself because I get to see the pictures that you're going to be posting because you always post some goodies. Bless up, man.
If I don't come back, Zach, you're the new co-host. And
all right, no doubt. I'll take over from here.
Yo, this could be the baton, man. What's going on?
I fucked with it, bro.
Listen, I'm actually prepping you for it.
There we go. Bless up, yo. So all the best vibes to my man, to our guy, Brian. And ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that we bring you Zach Bruckner. I don't know where the applause is, but yes.
Thank you.
Who you with. Listen, I'm gonna give a quick intro, then Zach, I'm gonna turn over to anything that if there's anything that I've forgotten, please let me know. So Zach is I'm free of calling him a trainer. I call him a coach and a consultant for health and well-being. What Zach does with training, programming for people to get healthy, well, fit, get their nutrition game on is, in my opinion, on some galactic level shit. Zach is a dude. He's a studier. So what I dig about how he does his business is he aligns with how Brian and I are, man. We're thinkers. We research. We get to the business. And one of the things that I appreciate about Zach is that he integrates what he learns almost immediately. working with this dude for 3.5 to 4 years. I've seen him go to different trainings. I've seen him integrate it with his clients. I've seen how he pays attention to his clients. Hell, man, I've even seen Zach do some salsa with his clients, get them involved, bro. He is a lifelong learner. I knew it from the time you were on Duolingo and you're like, yo, bro, I'm about to propose to I'm about to ask for my lady's hand for her pop. I'm gonna do it in the language. I was like, bruh.
Pretty impressive.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I forgot. I didn't forget.
So
yeah, hey, see? My God. So listen, it was with great pleasure. We want to bring you Zach. He's gonna come in and talk about what he does, how he does it, why he does it. So welcome, Zach. And Zach, is there anything I forgot that you want to mention to the people, man?
Nah, that was awesome, man. I appreciate it. Everything you said. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Brian. It's good to see both of you guys.
Yo, bruh, I feel like we're at Lifetime just chilling by the massage tables,
waiting for our clients, our late clients, chilling, bullshit.
Yes,
yes, sir. Those are some of the best times.
Hands down.
Those like couple minutes between clients.
Yeah,
random shit you get to talk about.
Yo, and we go in, man. We get the topics in. So Zach, man, when I was thinking about us having this interview with you, man, one of the things I wanted to start off with, so that people get to know you a little bit better, is can you take us through your journey, man? Like, what brought you into the health and wellness space, bro?
Yeah. So let me take it back to when I first started getting into like my own workouts and stuff like that. So worked out a little bit before high school, but I remember really getting into it in college. And really the reason was because I was really skinny and I wanted to put on some muscle because I wanted to attract more women. I think that's why a lot of people get into it, right? To start that. And so that's why I started that journey. Worked out, put on a bunch of good muscle through college. Probably just by sheer luck and persistence, because I didn't know what the fuck I was really doing. I think I probably skipped legs most of the time. Probably did bench and arms and shoulders way too much, and but it was a start. And so fell in love with it there, and kept on training. And after I graduated, started working, and then eventually, after a couple of years, I graduated. I kind of realized that I didn't like the field that I was in. I was in environmental studies. I just didn't like the direction of the field and kind of what the job opportunities were at that time. And so that's where I decided, like, let me make a career change here. I was in my early 20s. I was like, if I'm going to try some other stuff out now, or some other stuff out, let me try it out now. So I studied for my personal training certification, took the NASM test, passed that. And then I applied to a couple places. One of them was Lifetime, and got through the interview process, got the job. It was like 5 different interviews. It's ridiculous if you want to work at Lifetime.
They don't play. They want the best of the best.
Yeah. So I went through that and got hired and didn't know what the hell I was doing, and realized like I was in pretty good shape. Like I was really lean and like muscular. But like I didn't know what the hell I was doing in terms of like how to even program a workout for anyone else, how to like work with someone who didn't have goals that were directly like mine, you know what I mean? So I had to really learn on the job and figure out how to help people out. And so fast forward like 7.5, 8 more years, and like picked up a ton of knowledge around training, around nutrition, around like mindset and coaching and like behavior change. Just all the certifications and just all the different types of people you work with. So it's been a crazy journey, but it's been a lot of fun. I can't believe it's been like 8 years already in the field, but I guess that sums it up.
8 years already, Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I first started, and I was asking Brian. I was like, "Do you have any advice for me? Like, what do you think I should do?" And he's like, "Dude, you're gonna be fine. You got the right personality. Just like put your head down, keep at it. You're gonna be all right." Like, and he's right,
Bless up. Hey B, I guess I gotta ask you, bro, because I know you have a summary of character when you meet people. So when you first met Zach, what was that like for you, bro? What were you like? Okay, what was that like, bro?
He was like really like green and like kind of like almost like a deer in the headlights. I still remember like
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, when we every time at Lifetime the way they do is I still remember the day where like they every during our Wednesday meetings when somebody new comes in they have them stand up. They talk about where you're from.
That's
what's
the worst, bro.
Worst, bro.
All that stuff. So when you said 8 years, I'm like, Jesus Christ! I still remember where you were sitting because you got you're over there. But I always knew you'd be good because you had a very good personality and you can connect with people. And you're very like always you're always questioning things and always wondering, what's next. And I knew you were a studier. And I told you, like, I think one of the things is like, just learn something every day to constantly try to educate yourself. And you're one of the very few that actually do that. And you superseded, you jumped over everyone. Like you're on another level. So I'm just proud to be your buddy, and it's good to see you grow. And you taught me a lot. And for the people out there, like I've been in this field for 25 years, and I've done a lot of courses for the last 3 years now, maybe 2-3 years. Like
Zach, 2 years at least.
Programs. I pay Zach every month to design my programs because he's, in my opinion, the best, and I like it. So, and it keeps me motivated. So even as a trainer, and I just like having other people design my program. Well, I like having Zach design my programs. So, yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you saying that, man.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? Like, yo, and I gotta get back on that Zach game because I tell you what, I wanna share this story. So because I think this feeds into what we're going to talk about, and also Zach, what you do. And I think, Brian, when we were going over demographics, the majority of our demographics are men. We have women that watch this as well. And I think, Zach, what you do applies to everyone. So for those that have listened to the podcast before, you've heard me say I had double hip replacement surgery 4 years ago. So I was working at Lifetime at the time. Before the surgery, I was like limping around and shit. I was like walking like Fred Sanford for those people that know. And I knew once I got out of surgery, I was like, I want to get stronger. But truth be told, even though I trained, like I was scared as shit, man. Like I was freaking out. As much as I thought I knew what to do, I had no freaking clue, man. I was like, oh shit, man, I'm gonna break. That was in my head. Like I got these titanium rods and this shit in my freaking I'm gonna get under the squat rack and it's a wrap. And yo, Zach, I hired Zach to write me a program, and that mug put me on some goodness, bro. He was like, yo, Paul, strong shit doesn't break. Remember that?
Hell yeah.
Bro.
Hell yeah, I remember that.
Dude, he gave me chills when he said that, and I was like, bro, I'm with you, man. What do you need me to do?
Dope.
And I freaking got in there, bro. I was strong as an ox. Kessel, like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, go see my man.
Hell yeah, bro. He was getting after it for a while.
Bro, Kessel, like, what the? I was like, yo, go see Zach, bro. Go see my dude. And I think it's so important because I told, like, one of the things I appreciate about Zach and professionals like Zach and Brian is that they take the time to listen. And one of the things I appreciate about my experience with Zach and what I see you doing now, Zach, is that you're working with entrepreneurs and helping them to get in the best shape of their life. Because my judgment with entrepreneurs is the body is the last thing that they give a shit about. They're like, okay, no, I'll get to the gym. I'll get to the gym. And I'm just going to still work. And then all of a sudden, before you know, your health deteriorates and it's a wrap. There's nothing that you could do. So that he's had an impact on me. And I'm curious, Zach, for you, when you got into working specifically with entrepreneurs as your niche, what was the drive that brought you to that?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. So it took me a while. I mean, for the first several years I was a trainer, I was just trying to get my feet wet, like learn as much as I could, soak up as much knowledge as possible. And it wasn't until like after COVID Probably around like 2022 or so, where I started really thinking about like training in terms more of like business and like, all right, if I really want to like help the most amount of people, I got to start to really um, think about how I can run a business more successfully. Because I've kind of gained and acquired enough knowledge to help individuals, but if I want to start to help the masses, like I got to approach this a little differently. So that's where I started thinking about more like, all right, what's my niche going to be? Like, who specifically do I want to help and serve? And it took me a while, but I realized that I kind of naturally gravitated, like my clientele were a lot of kind of high performers, entrepreneurs, people who had their own businesses, CEOs, that kind of thing. And then I realized myself, like what drew me to personal training was running your own business, having to do your own sales, building your own relationships, your clients. And I realized, I'm an entrepreneur of myself, working, getting your own in-person clients, and now, transitioning and having an online and remote coaching business, having to build that. So I'm in the same boat. And for a period there, especially right as COVID was happening, right before COVID happened, I was really burnt out myself. Like I was skipping meals, skipping workouts to take clients, focusing everything on building my business and really sacrificing my own health and wellness for the pursuit of success and money. And like sometimes you have to go through short periods like that.
Yeah.
But COVID happened and then like kind of everything kind of came to light because I kind of took like a deep dive in COVID, and workout. I gained like a bunch of weight. Like some of my nutrition habits kind of went down the drain a little bit, and I had to kind of like reset and rebuild and figure out like how do I want to relate to health and wellness and how am I going to balance it. And so that's when I really started thinking about like I'm in the same boat as a lot of my clients, and if I can start to figure out how to train and balance that with nutrition and balance that with lifestyle, and find like what's the least amount of time and energy you really have to invest to get most of the returns back for your health and wellness. And like once I figure that out for myself, then I can then put that into effect for my clients, and teach them how to do the same thing. And that kind of happened around 2022, and then the last couple of years I've really been just continuing to dive into that and explore that space more. And it's been awesome. It's been another like exciting part of like the journey of being a trainer and now like transitioning to like more of a coach and like building a business and helping more people versus learning the fundamentals of training and nutrition.
Dude, so I'm curious. Oh, bro, you said something, man. So from what you've experienced so far, how would you describe the differences between being a trainer and a coach?
Yeah, that's a good question because I remember when I first started, like I thought they were synonymous,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And I saw a couple people calling themselves like a coach, and I'm like, oh, those are people that teach like a class, like a group class. They're coaches. Um, but now, right, I really look at a coach as someone who can take someone from like point A to point B, and a trainer is like someone that can kind of take you through a workout. Right? Coach is much more holistic, and a trainer is like, all right, I'll take you through this like one workout. And some trainers might be better than others, and maybe a better trainer can, you know, write a better workout program. But a coach really knows how to like evaluate someone's mindset, evaluate what their weaknesses are, what their struggles are, and then figure out how to like set a plan in place so they can actually overcome those obstacles. And that to me is really what is the biggest difference maker for someone actually seeing results and changing their life. Like if you're talking about really fundamentally changing someone's life and changing their approach to fitness and wellness and how they relate, they're going to need that approach versus just, hey, here's a workout program. Like if it was that easy and that was the only difference, like they would have downloaded that shit for free 10 years ago and they would have been on it.
And stuck
That's
to
not what they need. There's something else blocking them from getting where they want to go. And if you hire me, it's my job to figure out what that is and then help you remove those obstacles.
What's up, man? Thank you for that. B, I'm curious, like, how is you, like, what's the differences for you, man? I never asked you this question. That's kind of crazy. Like,
Zach hit the nail on the head. I think everything. I mean, I think the biggest difference is the coach knows which buttons to push to get you to your goal. So whether it be to piss you off a little bit, if that's the type of that's how you get motivated, or is it to coddle you a little bit? You can't coach everyone the same. You line 100 people up. Some people respond better to like a little bit of coddling. Some people respond better to like, you just want to be fat your whole life. Okay, then fucking do it.
yeah.
You got to know what buttons to push to
Yep.
get your client the ultimate goals that they want. Where a trainer is just like, all right, let's count some reps, let's get the heart rate up. See you next week. Let's go.
Yep. Yes.
So communication in between that time. You don't really build that emotional aspect that they might not know they need, but they do need when they come to you.
Yes, so true, man. I think and there's the reason I asked this is because I think that the majority of the people that are going to watch this are in some way doing their own thing, right? Like with some profession, whether it's a side hustle, a side gig, whatever, entrepreneur, you're running and creating your own business. And I know when I had the juice business, even like doing a lot of my things outside of my main full time, there is still a like I have to make a conscious effort to take care of myself. Yeah. So I'm curious for you guys, right? And I'm taking notes for myself. But I'm curious for the people that have yet to make that conscious decision. What I want to ask all of us and to really chime in on this. For people that have yet to make the conscious decision, first, what are the blocks that you all see get in their way? And two, what are some of the things that have supported you in supporting them to move past it?
Heavy question, man.
It's a good question. Yeah. There's a lot of layers to it, but let's get into it. I like it.
With the blocks. With the blocks. Like what are some of the blocks that you see? What do you say?
Yeah, I'll start off. I think a lot of times, anytime someone's trying to start something new, trying to make a change, and this comes down to everything. This is just like fundamental, like human psychology. You want to make a change, you start small, and you focus on one thing at a time, and you focus on just getting consistent at it, so it becomes a habit. Right? You're trying to make a new neuron link.
Yes.
And when you're doing that, it feels really hard. It's not so much time. I think people say a lot of times, I don't have time. Yeah. It's like mental capacity. We have so much shit going on in our heads these days, so many responsibilities and obligations and stress. I had a bad day here, and I got in a fight with my spouse, and my boss, told me I did a shitty job, and like my kid did it. So much shit going on in your head, and then you want to add something new, even if it's a 2-second habit. People feel like I can't think about it. I don't have time for that right now. And so you got to start small, and you can't focus on being perfect. I think people try and start too big and try and tell themselves they have to be perfect. And they get caught up in the perfection of it and thinking that if I want to look like XYZ or achieve some health, they view that as, wow, that person over there must be perfect. And maybe social media has screwed that image up for a lot of people.
Yes.
And then before they can even really get started, they feel like, oh, I skipped a day, which is like totally okay. We know, like we all work out and we all like miss a day here and there. We're like, okay, like I know I'm going to get back to it. I had a tough day. It's okay. I'll get back to it tomorrow. Right. Or you do something small. We have that mindset, but when you're starting something new, it's too big, too daunting. You try and be too perfect. You set the bar too high. You end up failing before you even get started. So make it small, and you have to be willing to do it for the process, because you're doing this in pursuit of being healthier, not because in the next 4 weeks you want to see progress on the scale.
Yeah.
And so that long-term investment allows you to say, hey, I'm going to take this slow, and I'm going to build it up slow and build some foundations. So I think people just aren't willing to be patient with that for the large part. It's a very instantaneous, people want everything right now, like society. So people get caught up in that, and then they don't even give themselves a chance,
Dude,
Yeah.
Brother, this is so. I want to hear you. But one of the things, what I'm hearing there is patience over perfection.
Mm.
So have your patience, be persistent with your shit. Even if it's like, yo, I'm gonna go do 20 jumping jacks. Like I'm still doing that piece
Yeah.
because it's about
You
staying.
just got to show up. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to show up.
listen, that's the key thing. People out here listening, like I told you, you're gonna get some gems today. Show up and listen.
Mm.
My hand is up because I know I've talked to Brian. Brian's seen me do these recordings over the year. He's seen my winter coat come and go, and I still got the winter coat. But one of the things like we talked about, especially like me getting back into it, is to show up because I get that perfectionism piece too. Like, oh shit, I didn't do it. Yo, give me that fried chicken real quick. Where's the
Mm-hmm.
Wendy's double stack? I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna beat myself up rather than say, okay, I missed today and get back on it. And that is a big piece right there, brother. So thank you for sharing that because I think a lot of people experience that and they fail to
Yeah.
fail to express it though. Thank you. B, what you got, bro?
So
Oh, he's taking a sip of juice. Oh shit.
yeah, first of all,
People.
I had like 2 or 3 things, and Zach said them all. So I'm going to try to keep the answer here. So I'll do what works, what motivates me now, what kind of blocks me. So like sometimes as an entrepreneur, I'm always busy every day. Everyone's like, oh, because I travel. Everyone's like, don't you work? I'm like, every single day I work.
Every single day.
So like
when I travel, I work. Yeah.
They don't. Yeah, exactly. I'm every morning, no matter where.
Mine's always
So
like
me sometimes I when I don't want to get a workout in, I got to go to. It sounds cliche, but I got to go to my why. And I think you go through different stages in life. Like Zach was saying, when you're in your, you start working out in your teens and your 20s because you want to get laid. Let's be real.
That was a powerful why back then, my guy.
Yo,
that was the only why back then. Only. I didn't have no rent. I had no bills.
Yeah,
I didn't care about money. I just
You want to go out. You want to meet women. You want to. You want to.
It's just like, yo, what's up, girl? How you doing, girl? You good?
Yeah. Being out there, it was like, no, not me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
you're like, then you start going through like your 30s, and like I'm 45 now, and you start seeing other people your age, and they're like, man, did you hear? He got hit with cancer, or he's 60 pounds overweight, or he's got diabetes now, and you're like, holy shit. And for me, it's like, I'm not in that demographic because I constantly every day I'm doing something. But like my goal is like I want to travel the world. I want to see everything, and I want to travel when I'm 80 and 90. I don't want to be one of those people in a wheelchair or I got to Advil into to hike up a 200-foot hill or something like that. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be sharp. I got to be clear. So it's like as an entrepreneur, I mean, any business, you don't have to be an entrepreneur, but like the way you get ahead at your job or create a better lifestyle is for you to always be mentally sharp. So I can either go to McDonald's and put shit in my body, or I can go to the store and get a grass-fed steak or something like. So that's going to help me think better. I'm going to have a clear vision. I can meditate better. I can do visualization better, and it just gets you to my goals a lot quicker without me feeling like shit and having to go to the hospital or a doctor every 6 months for a pill or cut this open or whatever it is. So I'm looking at myself where I'm going to be in like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And, when I'm tired, fuck it, go to the gym, or I do yoga, or I do some stretch or just light jog on the treadmill. I try to do something every day to keep me going. Cause I know afterwards I'm done, I'm going to feel good about it. And it's going to almost like stops father time a little bit. So,
yeah. No, it's true. I wanted to relate that too back actually how you close that off, like to kind of just, even if you can't do something, you got to show up a little bit, and relate that back to what Paul said too about like maybe you miss a workout and you get down on yourself and you start, you get into that negative mindset, and then that's when you'll go and you reach for something crappy to eat, and you like compound it, right, and kind of get into that negative downward spiral. I think that's where it's like you think about it like this, like when you set out a plan and say, okay, I'm gonna go and exercise, and you don't, what would you say about a friend who told you, yo, come meet me out at the bar, and then you went and they didn't show up.
Yeah.
And then the next day, yo, I'm gonna go out to the bar. All right, I'll meet you there. And then you go, and then they didn't show up. And then you go. What is that friend? What's that relationship like with that friend? You trust that friend?
Yeah.
You believe what they're gonna say? And so part of this is like you start to like have a bad relationship with yourself. You don't even trust yourself, believe yourself that you're gonna show up.
Yeah, you lack
So how do you
integrity.
start to So how do you rebuild that relationship with yourself on like a deeper level? It's saying about even like your health. This is about like, yo, you like fundamentally have lost willpower to just like show up and do something that's important for you. And so you got to start to like, even if it's the smallest level, what do you say about that friend that shows up at the bar, comes in maybe 5 minutes late? Yo, my guy, I'm so sorry. Like I'm running late. I got to get home to my girl, but you know, I wanted to show out real quick and just have like one drink with you. Is that cool? Yeah, bro, nah, no doubt. Like, thanks for coming out, man. You could have rescheduled. It's all good. Right? No, it's all good. I got 15 minutes. Let me grab a beer for you. How do you think about that, friend?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, the next week, something similar. Okay, so like, and then, all right, after a couple weeks, you know what? I'm going to go over to my homie's house and we're going to chill there for longer because maybe he needs to be there with his baby, his newborn baby. And so we can't chill for a while at the bar, but I'm going to now extend my, right? Because that relationship is there. And so now you start to figure out ways where before it was like, I'm not doing that. Now you start to figure out ways to make it work because it starts to be important enough, right? That relationship with yourself, that reason why, Brian, like you want to be able to travel when you're 80, 90, that starts to become important enough and you start to believe that you can actually impact that. You start to show up for yourself. And so that like mindset, I think fundamentally is something that people struggle with.
Yeah.
And it's very subtle, but people don't even think about it like that. And then when they don't show up for themselves, then they beat on themselves, right? See, you didn't show up for yourself. You're such a piece of shit. Since you're such a piece of shit, you might as well go enjoy the things that pieces of shit enjoy. And then that becomes your image, right? And then, right, it gets even harder and harder to see yourself as that other person.
Yeah, people get in their own way, man. It's a shame. It's a shame. You know,
it
is
is
for sure
until they learn how not to.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so,
it's the system is set up against.
Oh yeah.
Especially our system.
Oh my goodness.
Very much set up against. Right. So we're up against it already.
Dude,
so it's not easy.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean by that?
Oh, just the entire food system, the entire way that the American culture is set up in terms of how much you have to work. Your value and your worth is placed on how much money you make and how much you succeed. It's funny we say that as entrepreneurs over here. You know what I mean? Like in order to get to a job, typically you have to have a car to drive, right? Just the infrastructure and like the lack of public transportation. But then in order to like pay mortgage and pay rent and have a car, you have to have a good job. And then, right, a good enough job you probably have to drive to. And then like, so, right, that you just have to keep keeping up with the Joneses. And then before you know it, there's no time to actually invest into yourself, relationships, health, wellness, happiness, and we become incredibly imbalanced towards like work and money. And I think that's largely what the world views us as, is like sick, fat, unhealthy, unhappy, and obsessed with money and things. And like they're not fucking wrong.
No.
And then you compound that with the food system and the fact that like processed food is just like readily available anywhere and typically cheaper than healthy food unless you really know like kind of what to look for. And just people don't have the right knowledge around it. Like it's just a recipe for, you know, a disaster. If you just coast along with it, like, and you never question it, you're just gonna end up fat and obese and sick. Like probably by the time you're maybe now even like in your 30s, the way it looks now, it's like,
bruh.
I mean, we see people
the amount of kids that you know, like kids under 10 now that are obese. It's like it's growing. It's crazy.
Kids in high school who are pre-diabetic. Like, man, you don't what the fuck? And,
what is that going to look like in 10 years, right? Or 15-year-olds going to have diabetes? Like,
my God. Yeah. And the parents are like, oh, can you help him out? I'm like, motherfucker, like, how does it get to the grocery store? He doesn't pay for it. You pay for it.
Right. You pay for
it. You, man. You're having a consultation with you. You know?
And then that's more strain on the medical system, right? That's more tax dollars it takes to medicate and give medication to these people, right? And how does that look in 10 years, 20 years, 30, right? Like,
yo,
that ain't gonna help the deficit.
Not at all. I
no way.
Acknowledge and note that, yo, Zach, as soon as you went down this road with the nutrition, Brian's face was like,
I'm getting all amped up, man.
He was like, "What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by this?"
You see that energy? He was like, "Tell me what you mean." You know well what he meant. You just want, Brian was so excited, bro.
Yeah.
Every time you get that way, you look like a little kid watching cartoons, bro. You get all excited, bro. I love that shit.
Licking his chops.
I want everyone out there to like understand, like, the government's not for you. Like, they don't give a shit. We don't have first of all, we don't have a government. We have a corporation.
About your health.
We have a corporation.
The FDA don't go, but they care about making corporations money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and getting you sick enough so you have to go on chronic medication, but not sick enough to die super early.
Yeah. Dude, this is why this is so important, because in alignment with what you are saying about the corporations and these foundations that say that they're here for us, the overall theme is that you got to work yourself to the bone. If the word entrepreneur comes up, it's like, people see it as like, oh, like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I make my own business. And that's okay. Yes, you do. And chances are, if you're a thorough entrepreneur, you're doing a whole lot more than going out there and selling and doing the services. You're also promoting, you're marketing. So, like, for example, like, because all of us have something going on. So even when I was like, as I was looking over Zach's stuff and seeing Zach's production, like his content, and then, bro, like I go on Zach's YouTube. He's got mass amount of freaking exercises. So all that stuff takes time. So for entrepreneurs out there, we understand that it's more than, okay, I own a business. There's other things that you get to take care of. And in order to do that, I think it's important, like you all mentioned, for the mental capacity, but also for your physical, your energetics. Like I see it's like I'm going and facilitating these circles and work on people. Like, while it's a lot of mental and emotional, like curiosity, it will drain me. So I think one of the key things as entrepreneurs, it's very easy. I'm speaking for myself. It can be very easy for me to slide into that thing where, like, I don't have time for this. But the thing is, if I fail to make time for myself and learn to trust myself, am I really going to trust myself when it comes to a business decision?
Mm-hmm.
Am I really going to trust myself and being like, hey, can I go for that next level of business? If I fail to put the work in, whether it's nutrition, whether it's on the weights, it's extremely important to be able to put this type of work in. Now, one of the things I think that's important, especially for entrepreneurs, which I think is, which Zach, when you went to this route and then you and I worked together, and then B, when you told me you were working with Zach, I was like, yeah, listen, man, B knows what's up. And I appreciate it with you, because even though I knew, I'm like, okay, I know what I could do. The fact that I had so many other things going on, like I had decision fatigue. So I would go in the gym and I'm like, so being able to work with you, and I think it's important for entrepreneurs to work with a coach, a mentor, a guide, because you got to make decisions all day. Let the pros lay out the game plan. Okay. Yeah. Let us lay it out, right? So, so I want to check in. So I think I probably said already, but like Brian, you as an entrepreneur, I'm going to use you because you're working with Zach right now, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what are the benefits you experience being able to work with like a coach like Zach as an entrepreneur, man?
One of the things big is accountability. I think as entrepreneurs, we like to check boxes. I get that. I get
lists, bro.
I get that email.
Lists are my favorite, bro.
Yeah. When I get that email,
crossing shit on it.
I get to the gym, got truck that box, you know. So it motivates me, it holds me accountable. Plus, Zach can see if I get my workouts in or not. So so that's I don't want him to be like, hey, what's up with those LBs, Bisque, Brian?
Yo, hey, Zach is on it too, bro.
So definitely the accountability. And I know Zach is like taking so many courses and he understands how the human body is. So I have no problem giving him money every month to design a program because I trust him and I know what he's going to do. He gives me like I have the flexibility of a 2x4. So he has me doing a lot of warm-ups, a lot of fascial stuff, a lot of stuff in there. So like it's certain things I would do on my own,
Bro, did you just say that? See, Zach, this is what he does, right?
You gotta fucking change your program up.
Yeah. You know, and if I didn't have like, oh, do a hamstring stretch or do a 90-90 stretch or foam roll or whatever like that, I would just go in, just hit the muscles and bounce. So
bro, this guy teaches the fucking
stretch and balance course,
stretch and balance class twice a week, and he's
like, I'm as flexible as a 2x4. He's like, hello everybody, I'm gonna teach you a stretch class.
Hey, listen, I know my weaknesses, man.
Hey, listen, I think this is. I'm so happy you said that, though. And that's why I love when we have these podcasts and we get the authentic shit, because people will think, well, okay, if I'm this, like, I'll just focus on my strengths. And I think it's important that's one of the things I really appreciate about working with Zach, is that he gets me to look at the things that I fail to look at. So like those hips, like when I was coming back and like building up, like the hip stabilization, like I couldn't stand that shit. I'm like, what? I'm like, damn. I would look at the
boring ass shit.
Bro, this boring ass shit. And I'd be like,
get back to lifting heavy weights. Come on.
Yo, I want to get on the dance, man. Let me get on the dance, son. But like what was really cool, and B, I appreciate what you said, is there was the accountability. So it was like, hey man, you doing those? Mm-hmm. Damn, I did it, man. Okay, I'm gonna do that shit. So it's like and the reason why I think it's so beneficial is because, especially as an entrepreneur, I think it's important to recognize that there's times that you won't be able to see the picture when you're in the frame. So if you're so busy doing something, you may have the tendency, especially once you get past that barrier of like your neuroplasticity, is like, my neurons like, okay, I'm going to go and take care of myself. The thing is, though, is that if you fail to have a coach, a lot of times you may work on your strengths, and the things that you can work on and improve will be the ones that will get you. So I really appreciate the fact that we're even talking about this, because there's such a well-rounded approach that's needed. Because listen, entrepreneurs are important, man. They drive a lot of business. They drive a lot of things. They drive a lot of creativity, a lot of new ways. So it's important to be able to have some guidance and coaching to really help get you there, man. Yeah. So
for sure, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I want to come back to that second part of the question, and I think we answered some of it, is what are some of the things and some of the ways that you support the people that you work with through their blocks?
Yeah.
Right. Like we talked about the accountability piece. Like I know for me, it's and Brian, I think you said it, right? And we all said it about the whys. Like, oh, hey, wow, when I was 20, like, girl, you see these guns, Now it's like, oh, hey, man, I want to live to 108. I want to be doing yoga and animal flow and like, putting hands on hips, you know what I'm saying? Without some like freaking medication, just some CMOS and some, but like,
no blue pills or statin drugs.
What, man? Hell to the no. We already talked about that, man. We got a erectile dysfunction episode. You probably go check that shit out.
I saw.
We going in. But so I'm curious. So I know for me, when I'm working with clients that fail to really take care of themselves, I'm like, I can relate to them, and I'm like, listen. So what does this mean to you? Like, what's the reason this is important to you? And they're like, well, I don't know. They're like, then why are you wasting your money? I tell them, like, yo, listen, if you don't want to do it and you see no benefit, then why are you doing it? And get real with them, because then the issue really comes out, because chances are there's something deeper under there that gets to be uncovered, and now we have a new fresh place to build from. So I'm curious for you guys, like, what helps you? Like, what's a tactic or something that you could share with people to help them get past their blocks, man?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, like finding out that deeper why. But that's a conversation I like to have with clients, like before they're even my client. Like when I meet with someone, like consultation, I'm like, all right, like, why are we here? Right? Why haven't you done this already? And like, why is it even important enough that you're sitting here in front of me looking potentially for extra help? Mm-hmm. Right? Because if it was that important to you, and you hadn't been able to figure it out by yourself already, right? Then you're going to be looking for professional help with it. Otherwise, it's something that you'd have figured. Not usually a lack of knowledge these days. Like there's so much information out there, right? So So we got to figure out like what's that deeper reason and understanding that's bigger than you not wanting to go to the gym for 45 minutes one day, right? There has to be something bigger than how you feel in a moment. Otherwise, that in the moment feeling is always going to beat out, right? There's not a big enough reason otherwise. So you'll just go kind of day by day. How do I feel? I don't feel like working out today. Like, yo, how many times do you really feel like working out? Out of 10, like 1 or 2. I'm like, yeah, I really want to get after it today. Like 1 or 2, right? Like, I don't know. Mine, it's like maybe 5 or 6. I'm like, okay, like it'll be all right today. And then like 3 or 4, I'm like, oh, this is like a terrible idea. Like I'm just gonna get through bare minimum, like I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
These days, maybe in my early 20s, I was just getting after it, but these days with everything else going on, yeah, it's like, so there's got to be a reason big enough, right? And it's like, I think like you said, like, yo, you're an entrepreneur, like you got an obligation to stay healthy and like make sure you're there for your business. Like, what if something happens to you? Then what? Like, what if your health isn't there for you? People never think about that until it's too late. Then what? You're not going to be able to run your business. Then what happens to your business, right? Like,
dude, it's so. Thank you for that, Zach. Before you go, B, I just when you were saying that, what was coming to mind was, or is the CEO of Lifetime. So this mother dude, I follow him. So I'm like, I see this dude taking classes, and I like to listen. Like Brian and I talk about like self-education. So I like to listen to a lot of the CEOs and like masterminds and things. And the majority of them are in great shape. They're usually up at 4:00 before anybody else. They get that work in. And even the cats I see at Lifetime, like 5:00 in the morning, I'm like, yo, these cats, I could tell they got the executive walk, bro. They doing something big. So I think I think it's important that entrepreneurs start taking that mindset of like, listen, if you want your business to be healthy, you get to be the source of that by being healthy yourself. So thank you for that. Looking for the deeper why, bro. That's big. B, what you got, B? What's your thoughts?
I have like 1,000 things going through my head right now. I mean, like, all right, what the hell was the question again?
I forgot.
How do you help your client through barriers?
Yeah, excuse me. What do you do to support your clients to move through their blocks?
Yeah, everyone's a little different. Like some people, like I know some clients, they like to be held accountable. Like they like text almost like after the workouts or like throughout the week. They want to learn more information on things. They're like, it depends. Everyone's a little different. So it's like, I don't know. Everyone's different. I try to give them what they need. And then I kind of go back to like Zach said, I don't want to be a dead horse, but you kind of go back to the why again. Like, all right, like, you called out the other day. Don't you want to, lose 15 pounds? What'd you do? I'm sure you didn't, I'm sure you, just sat at home all day and didn't do anything. Like, what's going on? Like, why? It just being a dead horse here, just going the why. So I don't want to kind of repeat what Zach said, but, ask him why, I guess, Whoop.
Yeah, so I had to mute myself because I'm getting over a cough. It's like, I think there's a reason we all come to this, right? Because there's got to be a why. Like for people to start a business, you started it for a reason. Like you heard Zach the reason he started his business, right? And he's putting in work. And bro, I even see you like, dude. I really appreciate when you put in your stories and your shorts. You're like, I don't feel like being here. I don't feel like And then you even posting like your morning walks with Coco. You're like,
yeah, you already know,
right here
every morning.
Yeah, dude. So I think that's so potent to be able to show that, because I think, as much as there's this thing of like being fit, like the fit lifestyle. I think if you're in the fit lifestyle, you're gonna be more aware of it, right? You're like, okay, like, all right, I know this now. All right, but the thing is, the majority of people are outside of the fitness lifestyle, so they think they have this perception of like, oh, everybody that's fit, they love to work out. Not all the time, bro. Not all the time. Like I can't stand getting up at freaking 4:20 on Tuesdays and Thursdays and like going to a class.
Yeah.
I go half asleep. I still show up though. You know what I mean? And it's that's the piece. It's going and doing things, doing the thing, even when you don't want to, man. So I'm as we start to wrap things up, man. I'm curious, Zach, is there something like a message or something that you learned in what you're doing that's keeping you in it that you want to share with the people? Maybe a gem or an insight or something that's come up for you in this time as you've settled into your niche, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for probably most people, but definitely for entrepreneurs, business owners, um, like the overworking and the under recovering is for sure like um, very prevalent in like that kind of in that space. So when I work with my clients, really like a lot of the focus is on the like the nutrition, their sleep, like how they're managing their stress. And a lot of times, like if someone's at least if they're already consistent with working out, a few times a week, um, it's really not a matter of a lot of times pushing them more in the gym, but getting them to enhance their recovery. And once you can get someone to recover better from stress and from stimulus, that's their mental capacity back. That's better results without getting broken down and injured, right? Because when you go in the gym, you're placing stress on your body breaks down. And then if you can't recover back stronger than before, you show up to another workout, right? You're actually at a diminished capacity. And that's where, right, if you continue to show up like that, that's where you can get injured or demotivated or continue to like feel weaker even though you're training. So I think it's really finding that balance. And that's what I try and find with each individual is like we gotta have some amount of workouts, but really we know like it's probably the recovery and the nutrition side of thing that's lagging.
Yeah.
So I try and put a lot of time and emphasis on that. Like let's get some of your time and energy back from your workouts. Let's put it into this. This is going to be way, way more beneficial. You're going to get way more out of the time invested if you put it towards the back end stuff versus more into, right? Most people, when they think like, I want to get more results, are like, all right, I'm going to do more classes. I'm going to make my workouts longer, right? I'm going to burn more calories because you can quote unquote feel it working. I can feel the muscles burning and work, right? And this must be working. I'm burning more calories. My watch said, the machine said, right? And they're not wrong.
Yeah.
But if they only knew like how much energy and time they're putting in and how much of a return they're getting back for working out that way, it'd just be like, what are we doing?
Brother. Okay, we're gonna extend this a little bit because I want to talk recovery. Okay?
Let's do it.
Because this is like B and I will talk about the nutrition piece. And when you brought up the recovery, I think that's so key because I can get in that mindset of I'm just gonna work out and do my cardio and F stretching, right? F the foam roller, F the freaking 30-minute steady state cardio. I'm fine. Yet when I was working with you and I started doing that, I did experience more of the energy. And I think for people out here that are entrepreneurs, and even if you're just you're a 9 to 5, 5 to 9 cat, we're detached. We're more concerned with you getting on your path to health and well-being to support what you do. Right? It's not like, oh, I gotta go work out like it's some separate thing. No, Zach said it. It's a collection. It's a whole atmosphere. It's an environment and a balance that everyone gets to take, especially if you busting your ass building up a business or working, whatever it is, man. You got to have that time where you set and you have your recovery period. Otherwise, you're gonna keep stressing, and you break yourself down. Then you're out completely. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. B, what's your thoughts on
And
that?
the healthier you are too, the healthier you are, the more energy and the more capacity you have to do more things too, right? So if you wear yourself down, you're actually going to continue to diminish your capacity to be productive at work. And you'll feel like you'll be tired, like you'll still work hard, but you're just not going to get as much done. And you don't want to just be spinning your wheels, like not getting actually productive thing, tasks done, right? Things checked off your to-do list. So
I agree. Yeah. To kind of go off of what Zach said, like, I mean, like, I was reading a statistic a couple months ago, and I don't know exact numbers, but I think it was like 3% of women, they work out, and that's including like taking walks around the block. And like 7 to 8% of men work out. And that's the same thing, considered like walking around.
is this American or
America? Yeah, America. Yeah, that's why.
That low, bro?
3%? And
Yeah.
that's including walking?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can take a bunch of studies and everything like that. So like everyone's a little different, but that's what.
Do we know what the baseline is for like other countries or?
Oh no, we're the fattest country, so we gotta be the lowest,
For
you
sure,
know.
for sure. I'm just wondering if it's like if other countries are like 50%, and like I feel like a lot of other countries have it built into their lifestyle, but
Yeah.
Anyway.
With those statistics, that should motivate you, man. I mean, like if like for example, like a woman, like all right, just say even if you're like a 9 to 5, your job as a male or a woman, like a male or female, like is to get a promotion, is to move up. So you have people gunning for you for that same position. As an entrepreneur, when you create a new business, somebody else is creating the same exact business trying to get ahead of you. So if you can be part of that 97% of women or 93% of males that actually work out, eat better, sleep better, do a little parasympathetic, whatever be like yoga, visualization, meditation, you have such a huge advantage over everyone else. You don't understand it until you actually do it. Like Zach said, you can start having energy. You might be tired, but where 90-something% of people are clunking out, you're still going and you're making things happen.
And you can show up the next day.
Yeah,
the same way.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it's like I said, like you just have
and the next decade, motherfucker.
Decade, yeah.
Bro.
You're might not make it. You know?
I want to
look at it that way to motivate yourself and be like, dude, you're doing something that 95% of the population isn't doing.
Not doing, bro.
Yeah.
I want to take a moment because as you guys are talking about this, I'm taking a moment to acknowledge one of my older brothers, Wayne. Wayne right now is on kidney dialysis. Had heart disease for a long time, and now he's in search for a kidney. So he was up from North Carolina for his birthday on the 10th. And so we had breakfast this morning. And I was telling him, he was like, I'm not as strong as I used to be. And by the way, my older brother Wayne, he was the dude that got me into wrestling when I was in high school. Always strong as fuck. He always, bro. I call fit as bro. That's my dude, right? Wayne was like the guy, strong as hell, and he's always worked out, even when he was chubby. And he was saying, Paul, I'm just not as strong as I used to be. And I was like, oh no, you're stronger. Because one of the things I noticed about Wayne is that even though he has his kidney dialysis on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he works out, he gets his walks in Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. He's like, even though I don't look, because he's got a port for the dialysis and stuff. And he's been, he worked at Wells for a while. He's been an entrepreneur for a while. He's on disability now, but he's like, I keep moving, Paul. He was like, I got to keep moving. I'm not going to fucking stop. So I want to give him an acknowledgement because he's an example of what I see as a CEO, the person or entrepreneur. Stay in the game because things are going to come at you. Life is going to life. It's going to throw some hard balls at you. It's going to smack you upside your face. It's going to give you a DDT. It may put you in a sleeper hold. It may fart in your fucking face. How do you, but for you guys know what I'm talking about, it's real, bro.
Yeah.
So do we stop? Do we let it just take over or do we keep moving? And this is coming back full circle what we're talking about. Like, even if it's one thing, keep moving and get support. Get support, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, people, I am a stubborn mother hoo-ha. Brian will tell you. He's been asking me to do hashtags for the past 7 months, and I'm getting there. So,
yet?
Huh? No, we'll be done in a couple weeks. But one of the things is that, like, it's difficult for me to ask for help. Yet when I do, the people that I ask for help always come through. It's been like that with Brian. It was like that with Zach. It's still like that with Zach. Like when I needed help, man, when I was freaking out, when I was scared, I didn't know if I could do it. Having someone like Zach in my corner as a guide, as a coach, helped me be the strongest version of myself I've ever been. And I still take his concepts, and I'm coming back, Zach. It's on wax.
Let's go.
It's on wax.
Let's get it.
Right after you do the hashtags first.
Yes, right. That's right. So Zach, it may be like
That'll be my first task for him.
So
first workout is do those hashtags.
Do the hashtags, man. Work it out. I'm like, all right, Zach, all right. Hey, Zach, man, before we wrap, man, what's the way people, okay, so say we got someone that's like, okay, I'm ready. How do people get in contact with you for the goodness, bro? Talk to us about that, man.
Yes, sir. So you can find me on social media, or you could shoot me an email. So on Instagram, it's at fitasbruck, FITASBRUCK. On Facebook, it's just Zach Bruckner. And then you can check out my YouTube channel too, Zach Bruckner Coaching. Subscribe there. I come out with, training videos, nutrition videos, mindset stuff. So you can see some good exercise demo videos, and some deep diving into nutrition concepts and like mindset concepts and things like that too. So if you're interested in some like longer form content, you can check that out. Or you can shoot me an email, fitasbruck@gmail.com. And then we can set up a consultation. We'll hop on a call. We'll kind of dig into your why, like we were talking about before, figure out your roadblocks. And then it'll be my job to kind of help you remove those, give you an exercise plan, nutrition plan, lifestyle and habits, and then hold you accountable, guide you to the end until you get to your goal.
Word is up. Ha 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 ha. God, party people, we're going to have that in the show notes too.
Yes.
All right. So you have all that stuff.
Perfect.
Reach out to my dude. He does remote. So you can be like, yo, man, I saw you on this fresh ass podcast called More Than Black or White Health Podcast. People, when you reach out to him, that's exactly what you say. I saw you on this fresh ass podcast.
Fresh ass podcast.
Fresh ass podcast.
More Than Black and White.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good. That's a go. That's a go. With two handsome bald men.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. All right. So any last words, bro, before we wrap, son?
I'm good, man.
No, that's true. You guys are both bald. Is that how you got together? That's how you came up with the idea here?
Yeah.
You got to be bald to get on.
I fuck with it. I like it. I like it. I like the collab, yo.
It's good.
Yo, thank you guys for having me on, man.
We appreciate
it.
Yeah, this collab started when Brian and I did like a karaoke at Ebony and Ivory, and we were like, we could do this on a podcast, man. We could freaking we're just listen, people, I'm gonna go finish coughing.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up. More Than Black or White. Listen, we're here for you guys. If this is a podcast, like, share, subscribe. If you're on your journey and you have yet to know how to go or where to go, listen, check the catalog. We got a ton of stuff. And if you're unsure, you're like, hey, can you talk about this? Put it in the comments. And listen, for this episode specifically, if there's some things that stuck out to you, like, please put in the comments, because that will get more people to see this, and your comment may also spark and help somebody else. So get to it, people. And with that, peace.
Peace.